Hello everybody, my name is Dizzy and welcome back to Opus Magnum, where last time we had a bit of a problem because we're working as an alchemist for a great house, and our great house that we are working for all died hideously because they were being invaded and they did nothing about it until it was too late. We have a Boomer in the chat, welcome. How's it going? I hope you're having a wonderful morning. Or possibly afternoon. This is technically after 12. I did start a couple of minutes late, which is entirely because I was getting excited about chickens. You see, we have two chickens, and they lay eggs, as chickens are wont to do. And for a long time, we've not known which chicken produces which egg. And today, that may have been mystery solved because I, by pure chance, happened to catch a chicken coming down from their little hutch that they lay the eggs in. Not very long after my father had been and cleaned out the chickens and so had removed any previous eggs, so it's like 10-15 minute window we're talking here. I went up and found a freshly laid egg, still warm from the chicken, and so we were able to confidently assign that egg to that one chicken. And we've never been able to do this before, and it's very exciting. Anyway, let's get on with the actual game, which is what we are here for. Let's see. We went into exile because I don't know why we're in exile. Like, I understand that the guy who killed our house wants our house dead, but we're not really part of the house. We're just kind of like the help. But hey ho, we're in exile. And we are doing some thefting because we've been able to get alcohol and turn it into various different elements. And now we need some lead, large quantities of lead, I think. Boom says it's because Victorian London is incredibly homophobic. Fair enough. I don't know if this is... I don't know exactly what, like, era we're supposed to be in here, technologically speaking. There's not really enough world building for me to confidently work it out. Like, a lot of these houses look quite brutalist, but that might just be because they're being rendered simplistically, you know? Anyway, let's grab some warming tonic. This warming potion isn't just alcohol again, is it? No, it doesn't actually warm the body, it only creates the illusion of warmth. And this is Nils, so this is me, Anataeus, and this is my friend Concordia, who we were very rude to, but now we're on the run together, so I guess we're not being rude to her anymore. And this is Nils, who is the thief we have hired to steal some lead shipments for us. It's a long story, nothing to concern yourself with. You made alcohol for someone that called it a courage potion. And he still refuses to make alcohol for me? The man I made the alcohol for was preparing to fight to his death. You, on the other hand, are supposed to live. For a while. Alright, so we gotta make a warming potion. Boop. Okay, this is warming potion. Warming tonic. Looks like that. And we have fire and water to deal with. And we also need a thingy of salt ionization. And we're gonna need a bonding glyph. Although, the question is, do I maybe want to use this bonding glyph? As that seems kind of interesting. Okay, and then in terms of arms... we could probably do it all with one piston arm. Or failing that, with two this arms. Because the piston arm, it goes out to 3, so we've got loads of room if we want to use this. I think it's going to be a lot quicker if we use 2 arms. That is pretty much always the case. Question is, am I sure I can actually fit it properly with 2 arms? So I think what I'd want with 2 arms... Yeah, I gotta be cautious, because with these arms, you kind of have to deal with the fact that there's often not enough room for everything. Like, I've got to grab a fire and put it in different places, and at the same time I've got to deal with like water, putting it in different places, and like this water has to get to here without sort of getting messed up by this or bumping into anything over here. Do I think I can do it with this setup? So let's see, what would it be? It would be, I guess I would grab a water, put it there, grab a fire, put it there and there. No, I'd need to start by putting a salt here, grabbing the salt with this and moving it to put the water there, then putting the salt back and depositing the 2 fire. Okay, we're gonna work with this as a start. So you, I guess, want to start there. You want to start there. We need a wait instruction because I'm not doing anything with you yet. So we're starting off by grabbing. Rotating to the that way around. 1. In fact, yeah, this is probably more sensible place to start us with. So 1, 2, 3, and you let go and you grab, and you need to reset, and at the same time you need to pull this out of the way to that way around. Oh, hang on. No, you need to pull this out of the way 2 steps the other way. Like that, to get you to there, so it's not on the bonding glyph. Alright, and then you are grabbing a water. You are pulling it in 1, 2, 3, 4. To plop it there. Sure. And then, hang on, while my brain catches up with where we're at. In fact, let's just play this. Hang on. Right, let's just play this. Dip. Okay. And you can start moving back on this one, I think. Do that. That lets go there. Top. You grab that. They bond. Fine. Okay. Now you need to reset. We're not using you for a sec. You are in that spot, so you need to turn 2 around this way. So you need to let go as well. 2 around, grab 1 to the right. Oh, 1 to the right. Drop 1 one to the left. Grab. Then 1, 2, 3. This is the least efficient thing I could possibly imagine for this. This is so hideously inefficient, it's terrible. Okay. Right. Anyway, and in the meantime, while you're doing that, you want to be grabbing a water, moving it around to saltify it, and then letting go, and moving around, ready to grab the full molecule. When it's ready. Hang on, can I just zoom up to that to make sure that's alright? And then you let go, you are already grabbed. Fantastic. Okay. You need to twiddle this around by 1, 2, 3. Will that work? Will it let me do that? It might not let me do that. No, it doesn't let me do that. Okay, this whole setup is a disaster, and we can't deal with it. Right, scratch all of that. Hang on. We'll just start. We'll just use a piston arm. It'll be super duper slow, but it is what it is. Right. Let's set our default position to here, because I think we're going to be coming back to this spot a lot. So we start with a grab. Spin 1, 2, 3, and then reset. And then a grab. I need to go out by 1. Where's extend? There's extend. And then around 2, in, let go, out 2, grab, in 1, and then reset. And that should have a fire, a salt, and a water bonded. Marvelous, okay. Oh, but then I won't be able to spin the molecule around. This is a tough one. This is a really tough one. Because it's an awkward molecule to maneuver. Because I can't spin it from very many places. Okay, no, we're gonna... I might have to, pick it up and spin it a lot. Hang on a sec. Right. From here, I need to grab, turn right, and that is now almost all of the molecule fully done, which is great. I then need to get it into a position where I can bond the rest of it. So I think I want to go right one more. Turn right, and then rotate it. Because I'm just trying to think. I want to end up in a situation where I've got this water molecule on there. So if I rotate it, possibly twice? Just turn, twiddle. Okay, I can't rotate it twice. So I rotate it again. Hang on. Rotate, turn, rotate. What does it look like if I rotate it again from here? This is an awkward one. I think if I rotate it one more from here, that looks good. And then I pull it around again. That was the wrong way. Hang on. Dip, dip. Yes, that's in the right place now. Okay, amazing. So from here, I now need to reset. And then I'm putting the salt on, so I need to grab, extend, rotate around, retract, and then how do I move left and right on this? Hello? Hang on. Can you stop, please? For fuck's sake. Yeah, how do I scroll this? Show ghost atoms. Oh my god, that's so useful! Why did I never discover this button before? Displays an alchemical reference diagram. Oh, okay, yeah, this thing, sure. Yeah, because I'd sort of like to, put this in at the end, but I don't seem to be able to scroll. Is this it? Is this all the space I have to work with? Is this too many cycles? I sort of thought it would scroll when I got to the end of, like, playback. But it's not. What happens if I lump in some stuff here? Hang on. Oh, look, I can click and drag, right click. There we go. Okay. Alright, and then we're doing a reset, we're doing a grab, an extend, and going around 2. And grab around 2. Right, that's the molecule finished. The question is, do I want to finish holding this or do I want to finish holding that? Because from here, and go right and extend. Hang on. extend. Okay, and that's in a fully new space. So that's where I want it. That's hotkey 1. Okay, I can do that. Right, so that should be everything. And then we just reset, and that should work. It's very, very slow, but it's quite small. There's some bits of it I don't like that big sweeping motion with the salt. I don't like that so much, but I don't see another good way of doing it. So we're living with it. Also, the molecule just makes like sort of a slapdash mess at this point. Where it's like half hanging on the bonding thing and it's half over the final goal. And it's very ugly. Oh my god, this is so many more cycles than like anyone. I'm in the top like 10% of cycles. Oh my gosh. But I'm small and relatively inexpensive, but not as small and as cheap as possible, which is infuriating. I guess maybe some people managed it with a 2-bond thingy. That's okay, I guess. This tonic keeps the body warm. If you don't mind, could you make some extras? Trying to make a few extra money on the side? Not everything I do is for money. Do you have any idea how many people could use something like this? Ah. You people from the houses can be so tremendously ignorant sometimes. It's a shame we can't make more. You never make enough. Aww. Okay, a life-sensing potion. This seems rather unprecedented. I'm exploring new frontiers in alchemy here. Okay. Imagine yourself in an increased sensitivity to life. If a guard was standing in the next room, you could feel their presence. It's a heartbeat sensor. Sounds rather ghastly, but you'd be nigh undetectable. I suppose I do enjoy the occasional unfair advantage. I love unfair advantages in games. Oh, what's this? The glyph of animismus transmutes 2 atoms of salt into 1 atom of vitae and 1 atom of mors. That's 1 of light and 1 of dark. Alchemists who use the glyph of animismus and the forces of vitae and mors are not always regarded favourably by the university. Oh, I see. And this is a very interesting set of starting reagents. They started us with 3 different elements. Oh, and we have to make this interesting ring structure as well. Okay. Well, I mean, it's a shame, because the obvious thing to do is to stick, like, an arm right in the middle, but we can't do that. I think we should be able to do most of this just using a bond thing like this. However, a single arm isn't going to reach all of this glyph. So I need either a piston arm or 2 regular arms. I think once again we're going to probably go for the piston arm as being the best choice, I think. Okay, so I'm sort of seeing a setup that looks kind of like this. We'll grab a reagent, we'll grab a glyph of saltification. I'm assuming vitae won't be turned into salt by this. It just says transfers the 4 elements. Also, this arm actually can't get there. Is it possible to do? It might not be possible to do this with 1 arm, just because I don't think 1 arm can access all of this. Well, that's vexing. Okay. And in fact, it's even quite difficult to do it with this, because this arm can't communicate with this arm. At all. I really don't want 3 arms, but like a 2 long arm also can't sort of meaningfully be useful here either. Like I don't think the synthesis is going to be complicated. It's the trying to get it as sort of small and nice and neat as possible that I'm currently not seeing. So if I have a regular arm and a piston arm, these two now between them can cover the whole thing and can communicate with each other. It's a little displeasing of a setup, but we'll work with it. So I guess I want to start in this position, probably. And I want to go... Number 1 needs to grab. You need a wait instruction just for now. Grab, rotate, rotate, and then trade off. And you need to reset. And you need to then grab 1, 2, 3. Meanwhile, you need to go around 1. Oh, you need to let go, I guess. Yes, okay. This is vaguely displeasing. I wonder if... I wonder if I can save time overall by doing that. It'll be slower to start with. It might be quicker for the rest. Okay. Right. Hang on a sec. So where are you? You're in that position. Although actually, you, number 2, you can have already moved to sort of anywhere you want. It will be helpful. So you probably want to have extended out and be ready to grab. I'm assuming I can't grab on the same step, right? No, okay. That's alright. So you're going to grab, and you're going to reset, because we need salt. And you're gonna go... You have to go around this way, so you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, and in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Track. Meanwhile, you are going to grab, left, left. Okay, so that's a good start. You're actually going to let go at this stage. Have I done this right? I don't think I have, because I don't think I can twiddle this the way I want to. Because I'm currently holding this life, and I need to get this life to that spot here, and this arm can't reach that. It's fine. We'll figure it out. Okay, so that's how it goes. I pull this in here. We're then gonna pull you around one, and rotate you around one, I think. Yeah, okay. That's good. So, around one, rotate one, let go, come back, grab, and twiddle again. And then you, meanwhile, you reset, so you're grabbing, you're going around one, you need to wait a step, and then you pull it in to bond. Bonk! And then we have this nice linkage. Okay, amazing. And after this, we're going to need you to grab the dock, so you're not resetting this time. You are letting go and turning one more in the same direction and grabbing. Meanwhile, we need to repeat these steps here. So I need that. Twiddle, let go, return, grab, twiddle, do thing, twiddle. Okay, and then the same one that you twiddle, you can rotate back in. There's a few steps of waiting, but not loads. Okay, and now the dark is in position. You can, on number one, you can reset. And you can do this again. I really wish I could just copy and paste these instructions. It's so annoying that I can't. That copies all instructions. But anyway. So it's that. Twiddle, let go, return, grab, twiddle. And in the meantime, you are I need to grab, rotate, I think. Okay, and then one final time. We need to go around, twiddle, let go, return, grab, twiddle, and you need to reset, grab, turn, turn. Ah, okay, we need to bond at the end as well. That's okay. The question is, what's the quickest way of doing it? So this procedure that I have here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps. Can I do it faster than 6 steps? Where are we? So we finish off in this position. If I were to let go and twiddle with this, that's 1. Can I then rotate around? Okay, we'll try this. Let go on 2. Twiddle it around this way on 1. And then rotate on that one. Does this work? No, I can't do that. I guess we have to repeat the 6 steps. I don't see another way of doing it. That's okay. So what are we doing? We are rotating that way, twiddle, let go, back, grab, twiddle. Oh, I've forgotten to let go on this. That's okay, you can just reset, because I don't need you yet. Right, that's now the finished molecule. I want to get this into a position. Now I've got 2 options. I can rotate this way, or I can extend out. Where does this start? So if I rotate that way, it's 1, 2. If I push out, it's 1, 2. So it kind of doesn't matter. In a way. So I guess... hang on a sec. I want that in that orientation. I guess I'll go for pushing out. Boink. And then... release. Where do I need to be... So I've actually got a few steps at the start here that I can like overlap this with. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 overhang here. I've got 1, 4 overhang here. And obviously I need to be in this position. But this is the bit where my brain starts to break down. I can save a few cycles each time if I can work this out. I just need to work this out. Okay, so I need to be here. I'm gonna be over here. So the last thing that I will do is I will rotate around that way. Okay. And then the second to last thing I will do is pull in. And then I will be there. So that's that. I don't need that anymore. And then I will push out. There. So I need to start from here, I think. Okay, that works at this end. Does it work at the other end? No, it doesn't. It's because I forgot to get rid of that. Do all this slowly, hang on. Dip, grab, plunk, push out, let go. Amazing. Flawless. Okay, I think this should work. And we've made it as compact as we can. Actually, I've not made it as compact as we can, because I could... Could I be starting this earlier? No, I could not be starting this earlier. Okay, this is as compact as I can make it, I think. Boink, 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 boink. I think this is quite sweet, actually. I quite like this little jumping around sequence. And I'm quite happy with how I got that handoff to be smooth at the end. Oh, I'm down right at the lower end of cost. I'm way up on the upper end of cycles. And I'm quite low on area. That's fine. If I were to use this and go to the market, will I collapse into a quivering heap of nerves? The effect is subtle, you may want to avoid crowded areas. You say this as though you've already tried it. My confidence and reasonable certainty is enough for you. No, Anataeus, no it is not. Unsurprisingly. Over the course of my life, I've learned that trust is not something to be given lightly. Especially not to alchemists. Wow. Okie doke. We are nearly ready with our grand plan. This is a bit much. I feel like I'm being suited up like a grenadier. Okay, must you really outfit me this way? The more that you absorb, the easier it will be for you to blend into the shadows. I can already do that. I want to leave nothing to chance. Okay. So we are making... Oh no, I hate these ones. Ugh. Oh dear. Oh, and this is extra bad because we have to alchemy along the way to like turn lead into male symbol. Oh no. What a disaster. What a total disaster. Oh god. Okay. Well, okay, I need a glyph of bonding, for sure. And what's the actual mono unit? The actual mono unit is that. Okay. Oh, this is a mean molecule to have to like extendo into. This is a really mean molecule to have to extendo into, actually. Part of it is I'm inherently averse to solutions that involve me picking up and grabbing this whole thing and like swinging it around. Because in my head, in like the sort of the fiction of the thing, you know, because this can theoretically go on for thousands and thousands of subunits. It feels like when you add a new bit onto the end of a rope, you don't want to grab the whole rope and then turn it through 90 degrees. You know? Like, okay, the bit we're using is technically slightly manageable, but overall, it feels like I shouldn't be doing it that way. So let's think. Let's think long and hard about what the hell it is we're doing. I guess I'm using a track. Oh, not like that. Something like this as a starting point. And I think I'm almost certainly putting a piston arm on it, because there is not much room and we are going to need a glyph of saltification, we're going to need this thing, and we're going to need our elements. You, and you, and you. I mean, maybe I can get away with doing this with one arm. Maybe. And I actually need that. Down one like this. Okay, I think this is the minimum setup I could theoretically consider doing it with. Can I actually do it with this? I don't know. But this is the minimum I could think about doing it with. The hard part is going to be getting this join in with very limited room. Very, very limited room. Okay, so let's start. We'll build on elements of the chain one at a time, right? So the first thing we're going to need is salt. Actually, I've laid this out horribly. Let's swap around the positions of these two things. Right. So you're going to start with a grab and a rotate around to put salt on there. We need the salt in that slot. Okay. Or do we? Maybe I want to approach this backwards? And synthesize the molecule and then stick it on? Okay. We'll try that. We'll try that as a starting approach. So you are going to grab. You're going to go. Got the pluses and the minuses the wrong way around, which I really don't like. Hang on a sec. There we go. Right. You're going to go up. And you're going to rotate around. You're going to let go. You're going to go down. No, you're not going to let go there. Hang on. Shut up, Dizzy. Going to go up 2 and rotate into place. You're then going to go down 2. Grab. Got to let go. That's fine. Go back up 1 and let go. It's going to be much more efficient if I do that in the other order, isn't it? Oh no, it's not, because I need to do that a few times. Okay, right. I need to go down, grab, up, release. Okay, that's male symbol that we've now successfully produced. Good start. No, I don't think I want to do it this way. I don't think I want to do it this way at all. I think I'm being daft. I don't think I want to start with making male symbol. I think I want to start with this. Sorry. I'll just add it in on the top, it'll be fine. So grab, rotate, oops. Minus, let go. And then, hang on, let go. I need to go minus 1 more, and then around 2. That's so annoying. I wish you would stop doing that. I wish you would go in where I want you to go in. Okay. Right, now we can do the male symbol bit. Sure, marvelous. Okay. You go +1. Oh, actually, do you go +1? I don't think you do. I think you rotate 1 this way, grab, rotate 1 more to get it onto the track, there, then you go plus, and then you rotate 1 further. And then I think you twiddle. And then grab it, dump. Okay, that's good. That's the right angle that we want. Then you need to release. You need to go grab, rotate, minus, rotate. Hang on. Dip. Okay. That's good. That's a good start. You now need to go minus again. And then around 2. Grab. We basically need to do that whole male symbol wing sequence again. So it's grab. Plus rotate, let go, rotate back, minus grab, plus let go, I think. Oh, I forgot to let go at some point. Hang on. Yes, I need a let go instruction in there. Let go. Doop, doop, grab, doop, doop. Grab, let go. Minus grab plus let go. Okay, that gives us another male symbol. Oh, before this let go, I actually need a plus. Go. I need another minus in there, I think. Nope, that's... Hang on. Oh, for God's sake! Right, hang on a sec. From here, there. Okay, I need a plus before this let go. And then I need an extra minus there. And then this bit plays out as it did. Right, until we've got our male symbol. Okay, I then need to rotate, grab, and then rotate 2 more. Yep, that's a twiddle. Grab, rotate 2 more. Okay. That's our monomer unit now built. I just have to figure out how to get it into the right place to be attached. Or if that's even possible, which it might not be. This is such an evil molecule to make, my god. Okay, so if I twiddle you... That's kind of a good start. Because you're now in the right orientation. However, this is definitely possible. I'm sure this must be possible. No, it's not possible. I've just realized, because where I need in the final place where this molecule will be to attach on, this salt will be here, so the molecule will go 1, 2, 3, and then boop onto that, and it'll conflict. Bother. Bother, bother, bother. Bother, 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 bother. Oh, this is so annoying! I hate these long polymer synthesis ones! Okay, I think we're gonna have to get rid of all of this. I think all of this is not viable. And I'm gonna just move all my pieces around for a sec. I think I want to actually start with a track that's going in this direction. I think. And have my bonding... where would the bonding be in this case? Oh, this is so difficult to fucking work out in my brain. I know it's a puzzle game and it's supposed to be difficult, but still. So does it look like that? Oh, I guess I have a second bonding glyph somewhere. So that's the monomer. Oh, I don't understand. In my head, I'm so thick. Ugh. It's very distressing. Just trying to figure out like what shape I need things to be in. Yeah, I think it looks like this. So this is where I bond on to the next one. From. And each time I need to be able to move this to there. Okay. But I probably don't actually want to be holding it by this bit. I probably actually want to be holding it by... Oh, my head is so thick. By this molecule here? So I'll be holding it from here. This is fine. I'll be holding it from here, holding that, and I need to move two, I think. Okay. I can't have anything there, but that's okay. You guys can go there. I have a glyph of bonding, a second glyph of bonding up here. We're actually doing stuff to, and then I suppose suppose you'll be here. No, hang on. You'll be here. That will be there. And that will be there. That's rubbish. Shut up, Lizzie. There, like that. Okay. Okay, I think this is plausible. I think. Right, so we now need to start the entire process from scratch again. So we're gonna grab, rotate around 1, +1, let go, +2, grab, rotate, let go, rotate 2, grab, bring it back, let go. Try this. Okay. Then we rotate back 1, grab, rotate around again, let go, and that gives us our male symbol. Yes, okay. So, we then rotate once more, grab, go minus, keep rotating again, which will bond these two, twiddle around that way, let go, and no, this doesn't work because that Mercury's in the wrong place. Unless I do this the other way around. I start my molecule synthesis in a different direction. It's plausible. I don't like it because my head doesn't work, but it's plausible. Okay, where are we here to do? Okay, not there yet. For God's sake, I wish it could just start from the beginning when I do that. Okay. No, I actually can't do this in the reverse order. Okay. That. Okay, you need to go like that instead. That's okay. So we're still going +2. We rotate around 1. Grab. Rotate 1 more. Let go. Now we need to go minus. Rotate. Grab. Swing back. Let go. Swing around again, grab, swing back, let go, and that should give us our male symbol. Okay, amazing. Right. Now we go plus, grab, minus, swing around, that should bond in that position, twiddle, let go. Twiddle, amazing, okay, let go. Now we reset, grab, rotate, plus, and plus again to bump it up to that spot, I believe. Yes, like that. Okay. Hang on, wait. Where is our plunger at the end? It's there. Okay, so I need to let go plus rotate. Rotate plus possibly. Then grab, rotate, let go, minus, rotate, grab a mercury, bring it back, let it go, swing back, grab a second mercury, swing back again, let it go. Should give us our male symbol. Nope. What have I forgotten? Hang on. Let go. Minus. Swing. Grab. Rotate. Let go. Swing. Grab. Rotate. Let go. No, that's fine. And then go plus. Grab. Minus, rotate in to get into line, there, minus again, swing around to get it to bond. I've got to, just realised, I've got to pull this molecule through this gap. I don't think that's going to happen somehow. I think we've scuffed it again. Give it a go. Okay. Haha. I have space to twiddle it here if I want to. I don't know if I need to yet. I'm gonna do this. Okay, that's now in the right orientation. No, it's not in the right orientation, but that's okay. We need a plus, and then swing around again. No, okay, I can't swing around again yet. Maybe a plus twiddle swing rounds? Okay. That's nearly promising. No, this isn't going to work either, I've just realised. The final molecule that I want needs to start here, go up, down, there, and there's this in the way. Oh my god! I hate this! This is so awful! Okay, well, what if instead... I moved this down and that to there. That doesn't change anything of how we're moving the molecule around just yet. Okay, we're gonna let go. Maybe it would have been more sensible to do all of this stuff on this side. That would have been a lot more sensible. I don't know why I didn't do that. I could still go back and do that, it just requires rewriting my entire script. Budget. Also, I apologize if you can hear some sort of deep resonance thing going on. I don't quite know what it is. Right, hang on. Okay, we're gonna move this down, put that up there, have this spawn somewhere over here. Okay, so I need to start by grab, rotate. And I do now want to build this in reverse order. So that I build the chain of 3, 1, 2, 3, and then like twiddle it down 1, 2, 3 to stick on the last salt there. That's okay. That might be more efficient in a way. I need to rotate one more. I need to go +2, 3, rotate, let go, I believe. Nope. Okay, I don't know if we're going to be able to manage that later on, but we're going to assume that it will be fine. And then, what the hell is that noise? Excuse me. I think it's something outside, so we're going to close my windows. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I certainly can. And I definitely don't want to. Alright, okay, windows closed. Oh my god. Yeah, so I'm rotating one back to grab the lead, rotating one further, and let go. Go -1, rotate back 1, grab mercury, swivel, drop off, rotate, grab, swivel, drop off. Okay. Then, plus, grab, let's rotate 3, 1, 2, 3, should bond it there. Minus, let go, should free up the right space. I need to get us around to here, so that's 1, 2, and a plus. And then we need to do this whole sequence again, so grab, swing round, let go, minus, oops, keep swinging, grab a mercury, put it back, grab another mercury, put it back, I think. Step there, grab, bing. Oops, I forgot something. What did I forget? Grab, let go, grab, let go. Oh no, that's just the end of the sequence. Okay. I really wish that it would also stop when you press step advance at the end of the sequence as well. One of many, many things that irritates me. Okay, I need to go plus, grab, minus, swing round 2, and then counter swivel, leave. Fiddlesticks. Okay, I can't actually do it like that, because there's no way for me to get the thing in there. Which means I need to figure out there. And instead of pulling it back... Yeah, I know I'm gonna have to do this whole alchemying up sequence again, I know. I need to let go, swing one more. Grab, twiddle around 3. I think. Yes. Okay, then let go. Not that way, that way. Now we're doing grabbing the thing, putting it into place, going back, grabbing a mercury, putting it into place, grabbing a second mercury, putting that into place. Okay, then we go plus, grab it, minus, rotate, rotate. Right, that puts us there. I now need to get this line of 3 into a configuration of that line of 3 in as few steps as possible. I think the easiest is going to be going twizzle, twizzle plus. I don't think I can do it in fewer than that. Twizzle, twizzle plus. Right, that's the correct place for the next bond. So now I need to reset you. Oh my god, this is such a long series of instructions, Jesus Christ. Then we grab, we rotate, rotate, go plus, and rotate into place. Nope, I need another plus in there. Hang on. Okay. That's a good start. We're doing well, I think. Now I want to let go, go plus, and grab. So I'm dragging it by this bit. I then need to twiddle it so it's the correct orientation to bond. Hang on, whoops, let's not flick through all of it one at a time. Okay, grab, twizzle. I think I can get away with having that there. And go -2. I think I can do this. which will bond it to whatever's already here. And then minus... Hang on. I might need to have another step on the ladder. Yeah, I need another... Well, I don't need another step on the ladder, because I can let go, plus, rotate, grab, minus. Should put me in position for the next molecule, I think. Bonds, goes there, let go, plus, rotate, grab, minus. Yeah, that's position for the next molecule. And then we just reset. And hopefully... Hang on a sec. I need to move this in by 1. Other than that... Oh, I've got that up there. I don't have anything else floating around, do I? That I don't need? No, okay. Hopefully this should work. It's gonna take several years to make this fiber, but it should work. Okay, this is the key bit, because if the molecule bumps into something that wasn't here on the first run around, I don't think it's going to. Oh my gosh, I think we've done it, gang. I'm just the little adjustment at the end feels so like finicky and annoyed almost. Oh dear. Oh my gosh. That was a tough one. That was a really tough one. Boop, boop. Can I make that end any smoother? No, I can't, because of where I put the bond though. That's fine. Very dark thread. Oh look, minimum cost. Minimum area. Oh yeah. It's quite a striking look, don't you think? I'm a convert. Oh, you can see he's all in black now. Never thought I'd reach the heights of fashion like this. We should go into business as clothiers. Can hardly do much more alchemy in any case. We use the last of our quicksilver making that. That's a wonderful idea. I'll find us more looming and sewing supplies. It's a mannequin. Consider it done. Perfect. Okay, and now I guess here is the heist itself, which we've been working towards for a while. We're halfway through the stream. Okay, that's fine. Looks like it's time for me to go. Good luck! You'll know I succeeded when a barge of lead ore floats down the river toward you. I'll send instructions detailing where to send my share of the gold later. You won't be returning? No, I'm afraid I can't stay. So you do trust us? Funny thing about that. When I first found the two of you hiding out in the Spanish shop, my first thought was to cut you both down as you slept and sell your personal effects. Jesus Christ. Haha! I would have collected only a pittance for your mediocre clothes anyway. Rude, but her clothes are quite nice. I expect a more touching story couldn't be written. Safe travels, Nils. We'll be here for the time being should you want to find us. Sure, we'll run into each other again before long. Okay. Decoded message. They're quite capable. Dare say the best of this type I've seen, in fact. Trustworthiness. They'll likely stick to a deal built around shared aims. They're not the type to develop blind loyalty. Why not meet them yourself? They're holed up in an abandoned shop along the river. Nils. Ooh, so Nils is double dealing with someone. Possibly House Soria, the people who ate us to death. Hello. You sure you won't get in trouble? Hang out in the bad part of town with a rogue alchemist? My parents don't know. I spend a lot of time in the observatory, they always assume I'm there. Not as if they would check for themselves. It's a shame you never got to use Van Tassen's observatory when you visited. I was tasked with fixing it right afterwards. It's okay, I still had a nice time. Even though you were with Frederick? I loved Frederick! You what? He was kind to me, maybe the only one who's ever been. It was really nice spending time with him. Aww. It's true that kindness is a rare trait in a house heir. I wish I could have protected him. He didn't deserve the world he was born into. None of us do, so maybe House Soy isn't the ones who ate us to death? I can't remember. More Sigmar's Garden. We've already done that at great length. Litharge Separation. So this is raw lead ore. You should have seen when we had cases and cases of gin around here. Why? To isolate individual elements from alcohol? Yes! How resourceful. That's a sharp deduction, Clara. I've always been interested in alchemy, but my mother said it's too dangerous for me to pursue. She thinks I'd explode the place. Alchemy is dangerous, but not in the way your mother thinks. Yeah, you might get randomly cast out. Oh. Oh. This is a mean one. This is a horrible molecule. This is a horrible molecule. Okay. Well, I'm definitely going to need one of those. I can't envision myself doing it without one. And I think I want a track running sort of along here. Can I? Thank you. Oh, for God's sake! Why does it always put the plus the wrong way? And I need... Oh, I can start out with salt. That's nice. That's unexpectedly friendly of you, game. What aren't you telling me about this? Hang on. Okay. The trick is that this middle one can only be bonded to other leads. I have to be cautious of that, but I think it should be okay. I might only need these spots if I'm really good. If I'm really good. That's a big if. Alright, I'm gonna start here. Oh, hang on. No, I'm a dump. I'm not building this. I start with this, and I'm making these. I need to split it. Okay, hang on. Hang on. Oh, okay. That's interesting. For sure. Okay, we'll just pop you there for now. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna start like this. Maybe this is too close, but we'll work that out later. So grab and rotate, and that should break this middle bond. But keep the overall molecule intact, I think. Good start. Oh, this is a really evil puzzle. Okay, I'm gonna move this, like, over here, because I really don't actually want it getting in my way at all. And it will do if I let it. So we're gonna grab, rotate twice, and then go minus. I need one more rotating there, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, so the danger is that there'll be like some random stuff just like left lying around that I won't be able to get to. that's really what we don't want to happen. Hang on. Because, like, right now it'd be really easy to break this pair off from the main molecule by just twiddling it, but then this whole bit of molecule would be left somewhere I can't get to it, which we don't want. So instead I need to let go, rotate back, and grab again. And rotate around back, I think? Hang on. Oh, in fact, this actual structure isn't viable, because that's always going to leave at least one thing where I can't reach it, so I need to have it like that. Okay. So let's do something more like this. I assume the best way is going to be to, like, peel one atom off at a time? I don't really know. But that kind of seems sensible to me, so we're going to let go, rotate around, grab, rotate back. And then I need to do a 2 twiddle. 1, 2 twiddle. No, that was the wrong twiddle. Now, see, now I've got 1 salt prized free already, which is a good start. And with that, I can just rotate it. 1, 2, and let go. Right, 1 product. We then need to rotate 3. Grab. I need to rotate 1 more. Twiddle back. I need another twiddle there, hang on. Then let go, rotate to grab the salt, grab the salt, rotate back, twiddle, twiddle. And then I've got a free salt again. Okay, this is going alright. Then let's rotate. Rotate. Nope, that's not a rotate, that's a twiddle. Let go. Let go. Okay, then grab, rotate, twiddle, another twiddle, let go, rotate, grab, back, twiddle, twiddle to free assault, and rotate to 2, and drop. This probably isn't the most efficient way to peel them off, but it works. 1, 2, 3, grab, minus to break off my first lead. Minus? Oh, it's plus, hang on. Grab plus, breaks off a lead, wonderful. Let go. Minus. Rotate, grab, rotate, let go, I think. Okay. Then back to grab, rotate again, I think should break one off. Yes, but not the one I wanted broken off. So we're here, we grab. I want to twiddle 2 around to the right, to the left even. Okay. Let go. Rotate. Grab. Rotate. Let go. And back to rotate, twiddle 2, I think. I forgot to grab. Just zoom me through the whole process every time. 2, yep. And then rotate, let go. Rotate back 1, 2, 3. Grab 1. No, I don't want to go 1, 2, 3. I want to go the other way. Hang on. This way, what? Excuse you. 1, 2, grab. 1, 2, let go. Reset, I think. Amazing, okay. Our machine works. We now have salt And we know that from salt we can do lots of clever stuff, and we have lead, but it did say that we were out of quicksilver, so we can't actually make any gold with our lead. So the lead might not help us very much. I'm also vaguely confused as to why it says products out of 36, when each molecule is made of 7 things, which doesn't go into 36 nicely. Yeah, so we finish up halfway through a cycle because we don't break down the last molecule fully, which is weird. Apparently our area could have been smaller, which is a shame. I probably could have moved that, Oh, I didn't want to do that. Yeah, I probably could have done the molecule source dispenser closer up somewhere. Extracting the essence of lead from ore. There's something no alchemist has had to do for centuries. Solving these ancient problems for yourself must be fascinating, though. Maybe. In a way, you're reinventing the field on your own. That's one way to look at it. For my part, I think I keep thinking I've travelled back in time. Oh, she thinks it's fun. She's better at this than me, let's be honest. Stain remover. Hello. She just has a stain. What happened? I slipped a little on the way. I don't want to give my parents any opportunity to be suspicious. Sure. Now we're back to the old Van Tassen times. To think I was just getting so full of myself. The Glip of Purification. Oh, interesting. Transmutes 2 atoms of the same metal into a single atom of their next higher form. Doesn't require quicksilver. Okay, so it requires more like starting lead to get up to the higher elements, but it ultimately works around my issues. Oh, this is a horrible molecule as well. Oh god. Oh my god. What an evil thing that you ask me to do. I have no idea where to start with this. None whatsoever. I also just realised that I bet I could have done that last one way more efficiently if I had a double-ended arm instead of a single-ended arm, but never mind. Okay. What the hell are we doing with you? What are we doing with you? I genuinely don't even know where to start. This is such a horrible shape. Like, I don't even know where to start with putting it together. Never mind, like, doing all this bit on the side. Okay, I guess we're gonna start with the salt. Although I don't know why we're starting with bloody water and air. Oh, well, we're starting with water and air because I guess we need water and air in the mix. Never mind. I was like, why are we starting with water and air when we know that we just made loads of salt? It's because we need water and air. Never mind. What the hell am I gonna do? I think it's track and piston arm, which is sort of the kind of Omega solution, really. But I don't see a way around it. I think from here I can reach all points. Luckily we only need stage 2, so we don't need to do sort of lots of mucking about with this. I feel like this is probably the minimum setup we need. We probably don't need more than that. Oh no, this I need to be able to get to all the bits of this, so that actually can't be on the end like that. That will have to be somewhere more like this, but that's okay. We can deal with that, probably. Okay, I guess I want to start here. I want to grab. I want to rotate. Hang on, I need this as well. I'm vaguely wondering if I think I can do this with 2 arms to, like, be speedy about it. Like, that has kind of a pleasing symmetry to it, doesn't it? Although I'd want to do it that way around. That really appeals. That really appeals to me. Okay, we're gonna do it like this. So you're going to grab, and you're gonna turn this one into salt. You're gonna not put that there because that would be really stupid. You're gonna do that. So you're gonna grab. Oh wait, I need to bond all of this together! Oh no! Oh no! I only just had that thought, which is very stupid of me. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, this is gonna be a total disaster. Okay, we'll ditch the second arm, because that's just gonna make things more complicated. Oh no. Oh, I've got no idea. Oh god. This is gonna be horrible. Where do I want to start? Where do I want to start even? This is such a horrible molecule. I hate whoever came up with this. Because here's the thing, right? Is... like, I've got to do some sort of a contortion to fit this in. I might just start by putting kind of everything over here, so I've got loads of space to twiddle this thing around as I go. And then I'm gonna move that in for now until I know that I need it. I think I want to work all on one side and then all on the other side. So like I want to do this bit, and then this bit, I think. So we're going to grab, we're going to saltify. Boop. Let's put it there, and extend. And then reset, grab, spin the other way, so that we don't saltify. Should bond. Then we extend and twiddle. Twiddle it round that way. Oops, I forgot to let go at the end, but okay. So that puts it in the right place. Which is a start. Then I guess we're going to work on this. So we're finishing up there. So when we let go, I'm going to spin around to +1. To grab the mercury, because we should be extended at that point. Then swivel back, bring it in, let it go. Swivel around, extend, grab, retract, let go. No, I have missed. No, I have not missed the mercury. Where am I? I'm there. Okay. Okay, we now have our. This isn't mercury, this is lead. I always get those two mixed up. We now have our this thing, which is great. So we're gonna go minus, rotate. Is this the most efficient way of doing this? Who knows? Extend, grab, retract, and round 2 more. Oh my god, the sequence of the instructions is already so long. I rotated the wrong way there. Okay. Then we extend, let go. Oh, do we? Do we do that? Do we do that? No, I say we twiddle. Like that. Okay. I've realized I've put this in a place I can't get to. That's fine. Nope, hang on. Stop. Go to there. There. Twiddle. Okay. Right, I now need to let go. Rotate 1, 2 around this way. Extend and grab an air. And then I think I just need to go 2 back. 1, 2. And then twiddle back, I think. Twiddle. Yes, that is the correct orientation, but I need to twiddle it 1 more. So this series of molecules is now correct. I need to twiddle this 1 more so that I can add a salt. For which I guess I'll go let go, back 2, grab an air, retract to saltify it, and then rotate 2 more to put it in place. Okay. That's good. The next problem is we need to grab the silver and stick it on here, I think. Probably. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know what order I want to do the next bit in. I don't know what's the most efficient order to do the next bit in is the problem. Like, is it more efficient to join stuff on in a chain? Or to do these two and then join it on, and these two and then join it on? Given the way... Because, like, from this one we were starting with the silver on, so it made sense to then join something onto the silver, because it meant we didn't have to move the silver around. We're not starting with the silver on. I have to go and grab the silver anyway. So is the answer actually to let go, go plus, extend, grab the silver, and then just twiddle it too? So it's kind of out of the way. Let go, over, up, grab, twiddle, twiddle. Conceptually, this seems horrible. Do I actually even need the second twiddle? No, that's actually already out of the way, and already in an orientation that I would want. So, we're gonna leave you there. We're gonna rotate back around 2, go -1, grab an air, pull it in to salt it, rotate 2. Reset. Grab a water. Rotate it around once. Extend. And then another 2 times to bring it into place. I think. No, we can't do that. Okay. That's okay, because it was a stupid idea anyway. I want the salt out there. Then reset. Then grab, just rotate 3. Okay, and then from there I need to twiddle 2. 1, 2. So that water is now set up to be in the right place for the silver to bond to it. So go, let go, go plus, extend, grab the silver, go minus. Perfect. And now I need to twiddle the silver 1. I hope this works. I don't have very good spatial reasoning skills, so it might not do. Yeah, we're gonna twiddle that around. Let go. And rotate back 2. grab an air. We're gonna see what that looks like. Okay. We're gonna go around, retract, and around to bond. Round, retracts. That so nearly didn't fit at all. Oh my god. And then we're gonna extend and twiddle. I think. Yes, that looks about right. And then we're gonna reset insanely, grab, and just go around 3 to finish the molecule. I think. Twiddle. Oh no, I need to go around the other way. These need to be, because this needs to be sorted. Then I need to figure out the easiest way. Okay, if I add one more on that, is that now in a place where I can deposit it? No, because that's in the way. That's slightly annoying. But I could twiddle one. And then I think it's in a place where I can deposit it, and it's fairly compact. Oh, for God's sake, I pushed the wrong button. Hang on. I think that's the easiest. Yeah, it's got to be the easiest. So that goes there, and then we reset. Okay. It's gonna take a while, but we have our cleaning fluids. Boop. This is so silly. This is such a silly system. We just got this big old molecule just wiggling it all over the place. Sometimes we're adding bits onto a chain, sometimes we're like doing a separate sub-assembly. Oh. And then we just grab it by like one corner at the end and just swing it round. And be like, yeah, that's good enough. Oh. It's this bit, that bit. Oh dear. I do not think I'm very good at this game. But I'm having fun. Oh dear. Oh, I forgot the way we have to sort of zigzag the air molecule. We like swing it, we pull the arm out, grab the air, pull it in, move it around, and pull it out again. That bit. There we go. Oh dear. Alright, last one. Cycles. So many cycles. An unbelievable number of cycles. Oh. But, minimum cost. And that's really what matters to us right now, I think. That worked surprisingly well. Yeah, it did actually, didn't it? I didn't really need to mess with my setup much once I got it down. I imagine you could sell this solvent if you had the mind to go into business. Maybe we should. We've already had a good joke about becoming clothiers. How lovely. I'd go to you for all my couture. All we need is that mannequin. We can open up shop right here. Yes, what a great location. Sort of things we need to speak of in a jest, but sometimes I do wish I could lead a simple life. Maybe. Alright. Sword alloy. Finally, something a modern alchemist does. You really think Taras will notice the quality of your sword? You should see the one our alchemist made for my brother. It's practically limp. I'd have thought House Sawyer would do better. A surprising number of our treasures are holdovers from our earlier days when we only pretended to be an important house. Now that you truly are one, you deserve better. Okay, maybe they were the... Oh, no. Oh, no! Oh, why do you hate me so much? Look at this! Look at this! Okay, for one, look at the shape of the monomer I have to make. It's a horrible shape. And it needs to be triple bonded onto the end here. Oh, that's such a nightmare. And for another thing, I have to make everything from lead. Oh my god, this is evil! This is actually evil! I hate this so much! I have no idea how I'm going to do this. None whatsoever. This is going to be the rest of the stream, I reckon, this puzzle, and possibly and then some. Oh my god. It's going to be another track plus piston arm. I'm fairly confident I can't do it without. I try and click on the plus to move the plus, and it never works. Oh my god, this is... Oh, when I get my hands on whoever made this puzzle. What's actually even weirder is that this isn't the monomer. Because the monomer is actually just this bit. This is the repeat of that bit. Okay, in a way, that maybe makes it a less evil shape. Maybe. Right, I need a bonding glyph there. I need to figure out what I'm doing with this and where it's going. We'll put it on the end. I kind of like the idea of having it on the end. I've got a piston arm. I maybe wonder if I actually don't want a piston arm. Or no, if I want, maybe I can just do it with a piston arm and a second arm. Although track is quite cheap. Track is generally cheaper than a second. Thing. Because like, whatever is doing this bit doesn't actually need to interact with this, right? So I can just have an arm here doing this. Oh no, it does, because I need the sword alloy. I need this guy. Well, maybe we can still deal with that. Hang on. Do I have something? I set up something like this. Okay, and you have these. I don't think we need both of them. So you have a setup kind of like that. And we'll start with just a wait command on 1. And 2, you're going to grab, spin 2, reset. Grab, spin 1, drop. And that gives us our first silver. Just thinking, what's the most efficient way to arrange these? Is it like this? Or is it a different way? For example, would it make more sense to do it like... Nope, will you behave? Like that and that. I think the answer is yes. Yeah, okay. Now we've got a bit more space for interactions between the two. Can I just repeat all of this segment? And so when you drop there, you need to grab... And you can just take this the whole way around. Or sit it there. Well, this arm is... Actually, you don't even need to do that much really, do you? Because you can do that while the other arm is resetting. Just wait there with it. Okay, and if I put that there, then... do that. How does this look? Oh, I forgot I need to reset you, hang on. Reset, then repeat. Ah, okay. Okay, you do need to go all the way around, but that's okay, because we've got time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do. Can you? Oh, actually, I don't want that repeating there in case I don't want to reset. Dip. Boink. Reset. Grab. Boink. Let go. Can you swing in on the same turn that you let go? That's what I want to know. Let go. Yes, you can. Ooh. Okay, that's swish. So now you let go and you grab. And then you swing around and you swing around. You grab and swing back and let go. Oops. Why? Oh, I haven't let go with the haven't let go with arm 2, that's fine. Okay. That gets us that. Which is good. The next question is, do I want to do it in this order? I think so. Right, okay, so that actually doesn't want to be doing that. That wants to just be resetting. Right, so you are letting go of that. You need to spin around 1. Grab the male symbol and spin around 2 more. And then reset. And then this time you need to be making us another silver. So you need to grab. You need to grab 1, 2, reset, grab 1. Okay, we have a little bit of spare time on arm 1, which is fine. if this is actually going to work, actually. I'm just looking at this monomer now. We'll find out. We'll find out if it works. Let go. It's actually a reset, isn't it? Okay. Okay. This bonding is horrible. It would be fine if there was like a bonding glyph that did this, but there isn't. I don't think it's possible without picking this molecule up and moving it at some point and jiggling it around a lot, which I hate doing. I really hate doing. But I don't see another way. Okay, well, we'll grab that vine swing when we come to it. Where were we at the end there? Okay, so when you're doing that, can you... I can't remember if you're allowed to grab on that step. Oh, it's no bloody good to me if I don't test it, is it? Jesus, Dizzy. No, okay, you can't... You're not allowed to grab on that step, that's fine. You grab on that step. Move it around, that bonds these. You let go. You spin 2 more. You grab. You twiddle it 3. No, not that way around, it's the other way around. Yeah, this is why I wasn't sure if this was the way I wanted to do it. Because of this twiddle step in the middle. Whether it would be better to do the silver synthesis. Silver, and then the big one, and then silver again. Although, I don't need to twiddle it quite like that. I'm not quite sure how I do need to twiddle it, so what's happened here? Hang on. Let go. Oh, okay. Need 1 grab and 2 twiddles. I think. Grab, twiddle, twiddle. Okay. Good start. Meanwhile, you're working on grab, rotate, rotate. Oh, you need to reset actually as well after you've done that. Grab, rotate, rotate, drop. Oh, not drop, but reset. Grab, rotate, reset. Right, and then you can grab on this frame and rotate 1 to bring it into position. And then from here, this arm is... we don't need it anymore. Which feels inefficient. I won't lie to you, it feels very inefficient. Because from here... you're just there. And we need to figure out a way. I have genuinely no idea how to do this bonding thing with the thing that's going to be here. Absolutely none whatsoever. I've also kind of realised that I think I want you over there. Yeah, I think I want you over there so that I can do... Right, hang on, where am I? What am I holding at this stage? I'm holding that. Not ideal. But needs must. Okay. So, from here, I need to... I don't want to rotate this, so I need to twiddle. I think I want 2 twiddles on arm 1. Now the good news is some of this stuff from the end will be able to be plonked in this gap. That's good news. That's the only good news. Right, so let's just see these 2 twiddles. Twiddle, twiddle. That's so inefficient, but I don't see another way of doing it. 2 more twiddles. Twiddle, twiddle. Twiddle, twiddle. That's horrible. I hate that. To pieces. That's awful. Well, okay, actually, before I do that, when it's in this position, I can now swing it round again. So I probably should do that to keep out of the way of what's going to be going on down here. So swing around. I think I can twiddle twiddle here safely. Twiddle, twiddle here. Okay. Then I need to rotate 2 to the left. 1, 2 to the left. I need to let go back 1, grab the male symbol, and push it forward. Dip, grab, push it forward. So that will bond it to this male symbol. And then I think I need to twiddle it one way to bond it to one of the silvers, and then twiddle it back the other way. And then put it back to resting position, and then extend it again, I think. Twiddle, twiddle, push, and then reset. Oh no, I've just realized. I've added in reset commands here, but they're not going to want to reset. Hang on. Right, so this needs to be a let go, turn right, turn right. Let go, turn right, turn right. Yes, okay, that's where that needs to be. And then this is also a let go, turn right, turn right. Okay. Okay. So that's good. Now I need to start taking these. And I need to actually figure out what the sequence of things is to get it to turn back. So this is let go, down, down, right, right, right. let go, retract, retract, right, right, right. And then I need to take these and transpose a bunch of them onto the end here. So, we'll start with a right, right, right. Right, right, right. Do. Okay. Then there's a retract, retract. Retract. And I need to do the inverse to this each time. Then there's a let go. Okay. There's an extend. Do the inverse of that. Then there's a twiddle left. And then there's a twiddle right to begin with. Okay, so theoretically that is the minimum overhang I can have. That's still loads of overhang, but oh well. Okay, let's give it a test, I suppose? You see this arm just sort of wiggling to itself for a bit. Oh. I like the handover that the two arms do between each other. That pleases me. Oh, I've not left that in the right place at all. Oh. Hang on. Right. I think I need to get rid of one twiddle there. Okay, let's try that. Oh. It's so ugly. Let's do that little shimmy at the end. I hope the shimmy at the end works, because it's the bit that's hardest to test. That sort of looks like it works. It's gonna look completely ridiculous once we're twiddling this whole thing, because it goes so fast. Oh dear. What we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be shaking a sword around. Because this is like a sword body, right? So we're just going to swing this sword wildly back and forth a bit. Give it a test. Decapitate anybody who's standing too close to the machine. Oh my god! Oh dear. And don't look at how many cycles we're on. We're already at 400 and we're not even halfway through. Oh dear. Wiggle wiggle. Exactly, boom boom. Very wiggle wiggle. There we go. Oh dear. Ah! I can't zoom out even to see the full extent of the wiggle. The wiggle is that long. Oh my gosh. It's their fault for not making a bonding sigil in the shape that I need. If they didn't want me to decapitate everyone nearby, they should have thought about that. Amazing! We're at the lowest possible cost. The highest possible area by quite a margin. Oh my god! Almost no one has managed to make it as big as I have. That's incredible. Look how few cycles some people have done it in! How the hell did they do that? That's so few cycles! That's what, less than 100? How is that possible? How is that possible? It's a shame I never got to do this for Houseman Tassan. I dare say I would be very good at it. If everything had gone the way Armand wished, you'd be making a sword for Clara anyway. True. Hadn't thought of that. It's a strange thing to consider. We'd know each other under very different circumstances. I might have assumed you were just another cosseted heir. I don't even know what cosseted means. And I would have thought you just another smug, self-important alchemist. Well, you wouldn't be wrong there. Yep, see? Told you. Okie doke. Invisible ink. Are you truly comfortable with this artifice? I'll rather enjoy deceiving Taros. Just need to think of what to write. The language of love doesn't come naturally to me. Those types of letters are the sort of thing I've only read about in old tales of romance. How do they read? It's all very overwrought and florid. Perhaps I can't bear not being with you. I'll die if I cannot have you. Every breath I take is a sigh of wistful despair. I'll have to note these down. Invisible inked part A and part B. Interesting. Oh, and I need to use my glyph of animismus. And I'll need to salt stuff to put into the glyph of animismus. Interesting. Very interesting. And this is one of those awkward ones that basically needs a piston arm, which is slightly annoying, but not a big problem. And I don't think we're going to need both waters, so I'm not going to give it both waters. I'm going to do this as sort of a start, and then we just need like one glyph of bonding. And that should probably be enough, I think. That sort of feels like enough to me. And then we just have some reagent slots somewhere around, wherever it's convenient. Okie doke, so. We start with a grab. What do I need first? I suppose the first thing I need is water, so we'll just grab, swing it into place. 1, 2, 3, and then reset. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be more convenient to do this with 2 arms, because it's not like a second arm can operate this particularly efficiently. The only thing the second arm could do is bring... Oh, hang on. Having said that... Okay. This glyph can't be operated by 1 arm on its own. So ignore what I was just saying. We are gonna need a track. Actually, will this... If I swing this across here, will that... That's a good thing to test, actually. I don't think it will, but I would like to know. All products must be placed out. I forgot about that. Okay. Well, it won't help if I swing it the wrong way. No, okay, that doesn't activate the sorting glyph. Go there, you can go there. I can't do it from there, it has to be from there. Okay, fine. Right. This sort of looks like a minimum kind of possible setup. I guess the only question is, do I want this like over here instead? For easy bonding? Answer, maybe. Maybe. Okay, we'll try this. So we'll grab. And the very first thing I want to do is put water in there. Then I need to reset. Grab. Extend to salt it. Let's go around 1 plus retract, reset, grab, extend, go round 1. I'm not sure if I'm spinning the right way, hang on. I'm definitely not spinning the right way. Go plus, and then reset, I think. Okay, then I need to decide which one I'm making first. The light one or the dark one? I guess I'll make the light one first? Shrug. So I actually don't want to reset. I want to let go. Hang on, where's my arm? Let go. I want to go minus, swing around, grab, pull in, and then go 1, 2. This way. I had a look at the time. I realised we only got 10 minutes to do this in, which is fewer minutes than I would like, but it's okay. We'll work it out. Okay, so I'm then letting go. I'm going plus. I'm going around. I'm grabbing. I'm going minus, and I'm resetting. And then I'm going grab, minus, swing it in that way, I think. Grab, move it down. Nope, I keep getting my pluses and my minuses confused. Okay, that's good. Now I need to figure out what way around this needs to connect, which is not my strong suit. Okay, so you're currently like that, so you need to twiddle around 1 in that direction. Okay, and we're already holding this, I think. So I just punched the microphone while itching my nose. So I need to go minus and then twiddle. Twiddle. Okay. And then reset. Grab. Extend. Minus. Oh, I can't minus because the water will be in the way. Grab, extend, go round. 1, 2, 3, 4, and retract. I think is the quickest way to do that. It's not very quick. The alternative is around, retract, minus 1, 2, which is the same length, but also hits that, which I'd forgotten was there, so we won't do it that way. Okay. Okay, we now have our product, which we can dump in somewhere convenient to us. I suppose for now. See, for now, it's helpful for us to say, oh yeah, we'll just dump it right in front of us. But will that be the best place for it later? Answer, probably not. Because we'll have to jiggle the dark one around. But we'll grab that vine swing when we come to it. Let's have a look. Need to be in that orientation. And where is the arm? Okay, it needs to be, so I need to extend it out 1. And then reset. And that needs to be there. Okay. Boop, in, out, shake it all about. Okay. So that's our light product. The other thing we need to do is make our dark product, which is mostly the same. So we start with grab, rotate, I guess, reset, because we've already made our dark. So then we just go rotate, grab, keep going around 1, 2, 3. Actually, let's not do it like that. Let's put you in that slot. Reset. No, I can't do it like that. Never mind. Because the dark there, I can't swing it around this way because it'll crash into the water. Okay, let's have a look at what this looks like. Okay, marvelous. So I now need to let go, go plus, grab, minus, and reset. And then grab, go 1, 2, 3, 4 around. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, I forgot to add in a rotate left. There. Oh, for God's sake! Dizzy! Click the right button! There we go. These are all rotating the wrong way. Damn it, Dizzy. Spatial reasoning is not your strong suit. 4. Amazing. Oh, I did it again. Okay. But now I need to wonk this on at a different angle. What is that different angle? Can I work this out? Hang on. So you're currently like that, so you need to be... Okay, I think I only need to twiddle it. That might not be so bad. Okay, I need to twiddle it 1 around that way, 2 around that way, and then rotate. So twiddle this way, 1, 2, rotate 1 more, I think. Okay, and then reset. That's not a reset, that's a repeat. Reset. Grab, extend to grab the salt, extends to saltify, I should say, which is a word. Then we're going 1, 2, 3, 4 around, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. And retract. I think. And yeah, see, this is the problem that I knew we were going to have. Of where to put this down, this dark down. Where's the easiest place I can put it? So if I did a 1, 2 twiddle and a plus, that's relatively easy to reset to. Or if I twiddle it 1 around, swing it round. Hang on. So I twiddle it 1 around. So it's like that. And swing it round. Just by 1, so it's in that position. I put it there, I think, is our best bet. Okay, so we're twiddling it that way, rotating the arm that way, extend and reset, I think. Yes, okay, marvelous. So there we go, that's my solution. It's not as elegant as I'd like, but it's quite small. It's got a few moving parts, which is kind of what I want. There's unfortunately quite a lot of going all the way around, like that. And those little adjustments to the dark molecule at the end, I don't really like. I could probably do those more efficiently if I thought about it. In fact, yes, I know exactly how I can do this more efficiently, but we've only got 1 minute left, so I'm not going to. Just gonna sit here and watch us sort of chunk through, doing all the things. I suppose really the actual proper way to do this is going to be to have one arm doing the light one and one arm doing the dark one at the same time. That's like the speedy way to do it. This is just a cheap way of doing it. Alright, I'm fairly happy with that. This is quite the stratagem. I don't actually know what we're doing, by the way. We're just making a love letter for some reason. For someone like me, there's no choice but to pursue my ends this way. You want to afraid of the danger? Belonging to a house family is dangerous enough. It's those who feel their position is secure who don't see things clearly. In world weariness, you are well beyond your years. I appreciate your concern. I know full well what I'm doing. So we have a plot, which involves a fake love letter, I think? I'm not really sure. But it's going to be interesting. You'll have to come back for it next time, however, because this is where we are going to end for today. I want to say a big thanks to everyone for stopping by and to for being around in the chat. It's always lovely to see you. Aw, look at you with your little love hearts. You're so cute. Sorry, I'm not trying to be patronizing. Wait for my brain to catch up. Yes, we're gonna go off on a wee little raid-y poos in just a second. Know me? I have been bested. That just requires me first to see who is live, so bear with while I fire up the old Twitch. See who is around who might appreciate a couple of humans on board. What are people playing? Zelda, Baldur's Gate, some Minecraft. Like everyone is playing Baldur's Gate 3 right now. This has been the case the last month or so. Just everyone online is playing Baldur's Gate 3. Alright, we're gonna go and say hi to... Oh, we're gonna go and say hi to Lamadi, who's playing Starfield. I I do enjoy watching Hannah, and I do enjoy watching Hannah play big sort of free range games. And I really enjoyed what Starfield content I've seen from a bunch of different creators so far. So I'm hoping that I will enjoy this just as much. Starfield is definitely a game I'm looking to get. It's probably not a game I'm looking to stream because I kind of want something I can just sort of run around in and muck about, mess around, probably save scum lots, be a loot whore, be inefficient with my time. And I don't think I'll play it in a very stream-friendly way, but I'm definitely looking forward to getting Starfield. In the meantime, I'll be back on Monday with some more Assassin's Creed 2. We are working our way through the stabbings. We are on our way to Venice, I believe, so it'll be nice to see a new, very fancy, potentially, location, which I'm quite excited for. If you missed me over the weekend, you can find me on Twitter at thisfordemise, on my Mastodon account at eldritch.cafe/thisfordemise, or you can check out my YouTube channel for all of my VODs, including every past bit of Opus Magnum and every other puzzle game I've ever played, stuff like Roki, Understand, Signal State, things like that. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. My name has been Dizzy, and I will see you all next time. So everyone, bye.